Coming up on this episode of the Village Idiom.
Have you ever led a horse? Or
sure.
Or have you ridden horses, or both?
Ridden horse, led a horse.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah. Brushed a horse. I've been horse.
Dum dum da da, Village Idiom.
Hello and welcome to the Village Idiom.
We are a podcast that every single week chooses a popular saying to take a shallow but hopefully comedic and once in a while even interesting dive into its meaning, its usage, its origins, but we're also going to use it to hang our otherwise directionless conversation on. My name is Jurassic Mark.
And I am Skinny.
Look at this new wall background.
Wow, where are we?
It's a little dull back there, but I think over the next few weeks we're going to see some life grow behind us.
It's going to build. It's going to grow.
We are in our new studio.
It's in our new studio, which again brings us to this moment to give a big shout out. Thank you so much to HelloFresh, and all that fat sponsorship money has allowed us to get into this new venue. And
how many HelloFresh boxes did you count on your way in? Did you see them?
I did.
Even in the studio move, we used their boxes.
Yeah. No, they've been a great sponsor. So good to have them.
Those aren't even the boxes that our food came in. They sent those to us.
Those are extra boxes.
Just kidding. That's how much food we've eaten. But yeah, HelloFresh, dinner solved. That's great.
So this is it. Currently gray, but we'll be.
It'll be
blinged up.
There'll be some life, but we can't put these recordings on pause.
Oh no,
our listeners do.
Well, speaking of that, it's been a really crazy time with my personal podcast listening has diminished with the COVIDs.
Has lessened.
Yeah, because I primarily did it in travel times.
Oh, right.
Like my podcast listening.
Right.
Was like, I'm going to so-and-so's, or I'm going to make this drive. I got 15 minutes or I got 30 minutes, put on this podcast, And you're just like seeing less people doing less of that travel. And so it's, my podcast listening is dipped.
My work has changed. And so I've actually got headphones in all the time. So I've actually increased.
That's funny.
Increased by my podcast. I'm a podcastaholic.
Yeah.
That was hard to say. Podcastaholic.
I've been podcastrated. My podcasts have been removed. So
you lost your pods. Podcastrated. That's amazing.
But that's when you're less podcasts.
I had a funny thing this week where my son is like, I really think you'd like this podcast. And he sent me a link to it. And I won't advertise what it is, but it was a 2-word title. It was a very common 2-word title, like just thinking. And I'm like, okay, great, I'll check it out. So I go and I listen to it. I subscribe. I'm listening to it, and so I send him a text. I'm like, I had no idea this celebrity was behind this. Like, it's somebody that I'm already a fan of, and he doesn't respond to me. And then his brother says, "Hey, have you tried listening to what did I call it? Just Thinking?" Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Yeah, it was great. So and so's behind it." And he goes, "No, he's not." I'm like, what? Yeah, so for 2 weeks I've been listening to and loving the wrong podcast.
That's funny. I was going to say, so now something like Just Thinking sounds so generic. There's probably
that's exactly what happened.
500
so now I'm listening to 2 called the same thing.
That's funny.
That I'm enjoying both. But
your pods are still producing, apparently.
Exactly.
Yeah. They're replicating.
It's sad. But ours, we've had to do some double recordings lately.
Yeah, overall, in order to make all the move and everything happen, but it's been good.
Yeah,
it's been fun. We're all prepping to take a little holiday time, so we've been doubling up on our recordings and all the rest of it to make sure that there's at least one per week.
And let's just say, before we get into what today's idiom was, hopefully you have listened to it, and if you haven't, go back and listen to last week's.
It was amusing for us.
Father's Day week.
So amusing for us. Those the 2 morons.
Wonder Bread and Skinny's son Wonder Bread, my son Beetlebat stepped in, and we were not present. We pressed record and walked away.
Yeah, we went and got ice cream.
And so it was, I'm sure it's funnier to us.
It's funnier for us.
But I thoroughly enjoyed them stepping up and doing their
fun
thing.
Gift.
It was a great gift.
Memorable gift.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to hear them talk about their memories of us was hurtful. Just kidding.
It's like, now that my dad and I have grown apart.
Those words came out of his mouth. And he's like, well, I don't mean that. I'm like, I drove you to record this.
How did you get here?
How did you get here if we've fallen apart? Or
we lived together. I drove you
apart. We went to eat after. Sucker.
Yeah.
Anyway, Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm super glad they offered
Thanks,
to do that.
Dad.
And that was their initiative. We didn't ask them.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah. It was something that they
was,
wanted to do
Wonder
for
Bread.
something they wanted to do for Father's Day, which was special. We know one of the things that we wanted to hit was eventually our 100 podcast, and so I think we're in the late 70s kind of now, and so we'll make sure we hit our 100 by year end, and so it's been neat to have these. Let's do this while we have the opportunity.
Yeah, exactly.
You can take somebody to the opportunity, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to jump in and do it.
Oh, and I see what you're doing right now. Okay, I have a clip to get us in before we introduce our idiom. I do have a clip, but there's a lot of background noise to this clip, so we're going to have to turn it up and listen carefully.
All right.
It goes like this. Could you hear that?
I could. You can't lead a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
That's it. That's today's idiom.
What's that from?
Technically is not an idiom.
What?
Yeah.
This is the Village Idiom. It's not.
I know. It wouldn't be is it a proverb? Because an idiom, this you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink, isn't necessarily.
It's definitely a proverb.
Yeah, but it's also possible. You know what I mean? Typically, an idiom means it's something that not relating to what it even is.
Well, it's false.
In other words, a lot of our idioms aren't idioms.
Well, if they're in the idiom book, then in
But
my
we're
mind,
called the Village Idiom. But we do say
idioms,
we
'cause
take
they're-
an English saying.
they're in idiom books.
They're in idiom books, yeah.
So we're not like complete idioms, but
Yeah.
it's not like we just pulled them out of nowhere.
It's in the Idiom's Guide to Idiots.
Idiom's Guide to the Galaxy.
So you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. By the way, longest in words, the longest idiom that we've used, 13 words.
Oh my goodness, that's
Wait,
the title's
1,
going to
2,
spill
3,
right
4,
off
5,
of the-
6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and can't is a contraction, so it could be 14 words.
You know who can? Is Chuck Norris. Chuck Norris can lead a horse to water. I love
And make him drink.
and make him drink. It's funny on that because the whole premise of it, I don't agree with. You can totally make something drink.
A horse?
Sure. Have you ever like eaten pizza and you're just like, I need to drink something? What if we just feed a horse just mounds of pizza? He's gonna be so thirsty. How about like just salt?
Yeah, but just based on the 13 words, it doesn't say you can feed a pizza.
They don't include the conditions under which
It's
I
just
get him
you
there.
can lead a horse to water.
I can lead a pizza-filled horse to water and make him drink. So it's the conditions under which
So
he was led to the water.
or if you just headlocked that horse.
You will drink or drown.
Get your face in there. Do horses just lap up the water like a? I can't picture a horse drinking. They just bend over and drink at like everything else, right? Every other animal.
I guess so. Because like cats curl under, I believe.
Yeah, there's some weird
Cats
little
curl their tongue under,
cupping,
but
and dogs are insane.
but dogs, yeah, they lap
they
forward.
just
I think.
splash and hope some gets in their mouth.
They're just
That's what
stupid.
it looks like. Have you ever led a horse? Or
Yeah, sure.
Or have you ridden horses, or both?
Ridden horse, led a horse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Brushed
you-
a horse. I've been horse.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so leading a horse is very different than riding and guiding, steering, whatever the word is, a horse. Because have you ever had a stubborn horse that you're trying to lead?
Well, in this particular one, it was a pony,
Okay.
and it was
Let me just check the idiom again. You can lead a.
Well, it was this pony, but it was neighing in like this quiet, like, nah. And so it's like, this thing needs something to drink.
Is this a real story?
Well, and so I was there, and so it's like, this thing might need something to drink.
Yeah.
And I said, but it's
like a fair
it's a
pony
pony.
ride
Yeah,
thing?
that kind of thing. And they're like, does the pony need something to drink? He's like, no, he's a little horse.
Oh man, how did I not see that coming? I was like, is this a real story? And I still didn't realize it wasn't a real story. You've had such odd jobs. I'm like, maybe you worked, country fair.
He's just a little horse.
Stop it.
He's a pony.
I get it.
When they're lobbed up and then you don't see it coming.
No.
And then just smack you across the face with one.
Stupid.
That's so satisfying.
He's a little horse.
He's a little horse.
It's actually great. Anyway, they can get stubborn, and sometimes it might be easier to make him drink than to lead him somewhere.
Sure, and they're massive.
Right.
My sister-in-law worked for Ranch Timberline in Maple Ridge.
Okay.
And I was cleaning up a horse and in the stall, and this horse had attitude with her or whatever. Picked her up by, so she was wearing a jacket, pinched the back of her arm with its mouth, grabbed her, picked her up by the back of her flabby part of her arm, and tossed her.
Wow.
And so it, I don't think a year to fully heal, in that muscly separation kind of zone where it picked her up. And so horses can be mean, and horses are big, and
you can lead a horse to water, but you can't clean out its stall without getting tossed aside.
WWF'd by a horse. Yeah.
That's funny, and that sounds brutal, though.
It'd be terrifying. Have you seen their teeth?
Yeah,
that's the stuff nightmares are made of.
They've eaten out of my hands.
That's the long in the tooth. But yeah, their teeth are. You're just waiting for an ivory poacher to come by and grab. Their teeth are enormous.
What, long in the tooth?
What's
we said
going
they're
on
4
with
or 5 inches long. The typical horse's tooth.
Gum problems.
So
that
5
so much
inches,
tooth
and
is
who knows how
exposed.
many hundreds of pounds of pressure on her arm to pick her up and toss her.
It depends if it's an.
But he was thirsty
after. After I've tossed somebody, she gets so parched.
Was that a hospital visit?
Yeah, I think it was
probably
clinic. I don't know if it was it wasn't a stitches type event because she had a jacket
veterinarian.
On. Yeah. Well, there's things like horse massage.
Is that? Yeah, my
massage, not dressage.
No.
Is different.
My cousin is a horse massage therapist.
This sounds like the beginning of a joke.
It's not. She lives in Alberta. She came and stayed with us. This is a number of years ago.
Better now that she lives in Alberta.
Yeah. Her and her whole family. If you saw a family picture, it looks like. It looks like they're in costumes, in my opinion. This is not meant to be offensive.
She dated one of your other cousins. Because she's from Alberta.
Well, technically, she did date my cousin, so she's my cousin by marriage.
Oh, I see.
But they are the cowboy hats and the buckles and the tassels and the whole bit. That's regular country wear all the time.
Here, costume.
Yeah, here, costume. That's their life. And so anyway, she is that. She's a horse massage therapist. And when she came and stayed with us to take these courses, we're like, this is not a real thing. But it is. It's a real thing.
I feel like your L4 might be out a bit right now. We're just going to need to adjust you here. There's got to be some sort of horse chiropractic.
Yeah, I don't know.
Inevitably. If you put that on my back, I'm going to need a chiropractor.
Anyway, it was her main focus.
I liked it. I'm picking it up whether you're putting it down or not.
We were there for her bridal party. For a bit.
Oh no.
I think it was just in Washington. Just south Seattle.
All right,
it's getting
Chaz.
Worse. Yeah. Anyway, man, was she chapped when we left early.
I'm gonna throw up in my mouth. Wow.
Anyway, now she's doing it. She's an expert. It's not her first rodeo.
Wow.
This is just happening. There's no notes here.
You're free flowing. You're like the Eminem of horse puns.
That's right.
Wow.
Okay. Anyway, well, what do you think?
Let's just jump into where this black beauty came from.
Where'd they go? No one can know. I turned around and looked behind. Those words came from another mind. Origins.
All right. Well, here's the most interesting thing about today's proverb, idiom, whatever you want to call it, homily. This phrase comes from the 12th century and has the proud, distinguished honor of, most likely anyway, being the single oldest distinctly English proverb that is still in use today. So we've had other ones. There are other older English proverbs, but come from the Greek or come from whatever, Latin or something. This is the oldest distinctly English proverb. So it's first recorded English use was in 1175. And the funny thing about saying distinctly English is that when I can barely read it, the like 12th century English is like, "Wha is that may that horse waitrien the himself nul drinking." That's
Right.
English.
Not the bad English. The old, so old English.
So old that it sounds bad. So translated, of course, English to English, is who can give water to the horse that will not drink of its own accord. Now, there is a little tiny speck of controversy because they're not sure if it means who can give water to the horse that will not drink of its own accord, or if it's who is he that may water the horse and not drink himself. In other words, you can lead a horse to the water, but you can't drink. Like, you can make someone else drink, but not yourself. You're good at...
That makes no sense.
I know.
That makes less sense than the original one.
It does, but the actual Old English could be interpreted either way. Most say, no, it's you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So there's, like I said, there's other pretenders to the throne of the oldest English proverb. For example, a friend in need is a friend indeed, which is mid-11th century in English, but it's technically 5th century BC in Greek. So it's like old as it was an English
They
proverb.
just say that they don't know.
Yeah. So, and then there's biblical ones, of course, but still, obviously, that's not coming from English. So this wins as a
And he mounted the pony,
starts. It's
saying-
a little horse.
saying low.
Then we fast forward. It appeared in John Haywood's, who we've heard this name several times, his collection of Proverbs, 1546. That seems to be like, you look for like ancestral roots where all the lines, all the planets align in whatever family history. When it comes to Proverbs and idioms, John Haywood's collection of books in 1546. You go there and there's so many listed in that 16th century book that it's referenced so much. But anyway, in his proverb collection, it says, "A man may well bring a horse to the water, but he cannot make him drink without he will." So very close. And it's been used famously throughout the last several centuries after that. But yeah, I thought that was pretty interesting. Like, whether it's an idiom or not, this has history in being English only. It's been used now in other languages, but originated in England without question. So what else we got here? It's also appeared in literature over the centuries in a variety of forms. For example, in the play Narcissus, starring Skinny. Narcissus, which
Is that about me?
you would think that. Published in 1602, unknown authorship, subtitled as A Twelfth Night Merriment, played by youths of the parish of the College of St. John the Baptist in Oxford. It says, "Your parents have done what they could." Could is spelled C-O-O-D-E, Old English. "They can but bring horse to the water brink, but horse may choose whether that horse will drink." So a little rhyming twist to it. And and then we basically jump to modern day with any reference. But we've also got really modern day, like,
You can lead a horse to roller, but you can't make him rink.
do you recognize that voice?
Sounds like Phil Hartman.
No, it's oh man, what's the show called? BoJack Horseman.
Oh, I haven't
Do you
seen
know
it.
the voice?
No.
Will Arnett.
Okay.
Yeah,
He's awesome.
It's a humanoid horse with a drinking problem.
Of course. That
So-
makes sense.
So you can lead this horse to anything, and he'll drink anything.
Nice.
Yeah.
I did come across one interesting thing in my research related to horse diving.
What?
Exactly. And so I was like, of course that caught my attention. You can't, so you start researching horse and water. Okay.
It's because all the horses were frustrated being led to water so many times. They
I'm just
dove
going
in.
for it. This horse you could lead to water. He didn't necessarily drank, but apparently,
But he did drown.
a diving horse was an attraction from the 1880s, in which a horse would dive into a pool of water,
Like dive, like head first dive?
sometimes as high as 60 feet. Doc Carver, so was the guy's name, invented it.
The horses didn't.
So he would take a horse, build up this ramp situation, and dive horses off. And so I'm like, this isn't real. And you start looking up photos, and it was a thing. People
can't even picture this.
People would dive horses off of like the high diving board with a horse.
Is it sheer entertainment, or
Yeah.
Or do horses swim like this?
No, it was just that you could train a horse or just make it do it. However,
And they land like front feet head first.
yep, these pictures wasn't like going belly flop. It was a horse diving, arms out, horse into the water.
No way.
Horse diving. And so but it started to take got a bit of a bad rap. Apparently at some point
I find that hard to believe.
but for like 50 years they were doing it. 1931, a horse on its way up the ramp lost its balance and went off the side of the ramp and just like hit the ground. Or
It's still horse diving.
it's just not a great landing, but
That's the same reason they stopped horse go-karting.
terrible depth perception on a horse.
Yeah.
They can't work the pedals that well.
Also doesn't come natural to the horse. They had to be trained.
Two left hooves. And the
Horse is a horse around the course.
of course. And so apparently when it hit the ground or hit maybe it was the water, it didn't kill it. But both of its retinas detached.
What?
And so it was a blind horse after that, which sounds like more amazing. And so
Still
then
diving?
And so they continued it on after whatever process of healing that the horse required and continued to dive the horse. But that was kind of like the beginning.
Except now you truly had to lead it to the water.
Yeah, but it would, I guess, it was already trained. It knew what to do, but would dive off the high diving board.
Just the impact, like the pressure of landing.
The pressure of landing
Pop the eyes out?
detached its retinas. I don't know I think the eyes are still in when retinas detach. I don't think your eyes just shoot out like
I'm picturing
a couple of cannonballs.
dangling on a keychain kind of thing.
Gross. No, because then they're still attached. They're just pop. That's no problem. We can put that back in.
Yeah.
No detached retinas.
Wow.
Yeah, so horse diving.
I got to look that up.
You got to look it up. It's a thing. If you're on your internets right now driving, just...
I'll see if I can add some little short something in our social media so people can take a look at that.
It's a real thing.
We'll tell you where you can find that at the end.
Yeah, so that seems to be
an
an actual deal.
Well, to end the origins part of this, it wasn't until the 20th century that lead a horse to water, like those exact words, got a substantial rewrite. A woman named Dorothy Parker reworked it. And this is funny that this is what made those exact words be the official, here's how you say it, because it came in the form of an epigram. Do you know what an epigram is?
No.
I looked it up because
some sort of writing.
An epigram is a pithy saying or remark expressing an idea in a clever or amusing way. So this is what made "you can lead a horse to water" stick as the official way of saying it. She wrote, "You can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think." So it was about something unrelated, and she used a play on words, but that's what made "you can lead" be the official statement. So she used an epigram, which they might as well say epigram, a dad joke. Because that's what it is. It's a play on words. Dads are geniuses for their epigrams. Unless they're older. Then they're epigrandpas. So yeah, that's how "you can lead a horse to" became sort of the official way of saying it, was because of Dorothy Parker and her "you can lead a horticulture, but you can't make her think." And there's your origins.
That's just hitting me what you're saying, and it's not entirely good.
Okay.
There it is. Factually accurate. Anyways.
Well now. How are we doing for time? We got time for this. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Now a word from our sponsor. Oh,
what's happening here?
Now a word.
Let's pause that.
Brought to you by HelloFresh.
Let's try again.
Sure.
And now a word from our sponsor, Beer Water.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him party.
That's awesome.
There you go.
So when I was thinking about it, I wanted to add this in real quick. Circling back on, can you make anyone do anything with the right applied pressure?
Yeah, torture and
so can you lead a horse to water and
if you can
make a drink?
If you can make people give confessions of crimes they never committed without torture,
like the A-Team.
Right. But you hear all these stories. If somebody goes to jail, why'd you confess? I don't know. Just the pressure of the police interrogation,
or the consequence of like, this will be over. It'll be easier on your family
if you just say this.
Say yes. You take your licks and go. It's like, but I didn't do it. But
I think in the right circumstances,
we're going to drag every last detail of your life through the mud.
I think in the right circumstances, there's very little that you couldn't make someone or something do.
That's terrifying and like accurate.
Yeah.
With the right applied pressures, I think this is like what espionage type things are built on.
What's funny though, because I immediately think of some exceptions, and there's always going to be exceptions, and that'll be sheer will or belief, like people who could have saved their own lives by recanting their faith, for example,
sure,
and choose not to. Mm-hmm. Like there's no amount of torture that would cause someone to go back on their beliefs. So maybe not all things, or maybe not all people, but
right.
Most.
Would you say something that was like completely untrue that you're like, no one believes it anyway because of it was under duress?
Right.
It's like, say this. You're like, okay, whatever, blah, 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 blah. It's like, I didn't mean it. I just didn't want to die.
Yeah, exactly. And you got these people under terrorist pressure saying things on video for their country back home, but they're blinking in Morse code,
right? Their
location or whatever.
That's next level,
right?
I'm at 49 degrees.
That'd be here somewhere.
Yeah.
So yeah. Whoa. That felt good. All right.
Well, we should probably get into we're in our end game here.
All right. Well, we have a little game we like to play called Riddle-Ink, and Riddle-Ink is you've seen our sons do this. And basically my son mocked me because I always say Riddle-Ink is a game that we like to play that has a 2-part trivia-based question and requires a 2-part but overlapping answer. I'm screwing it up now, and he goes to do it. I'm like, oh, let's see if he knows what to say. He goes, okay, time for Riddle-Ink. Riddle-Ink is 2-part blah and a 2-part blah blah blah. I'm like, you suck.
Did you even try?
So, but they did do one. They weren't prepared.
They pulled like a 50-50 backward one.
Yeah, it was backwards. So if you listened last week and heard, I didn't write it down, but I think I can get it right. Beetlebat said something along the lines of this outer space, this guy or alien from outer space is similar to his dad. Mm-hmm. And really, he told us off air later, it should have been right. Close to his dad was this alien from outer space.
Right.
So the answer was
the apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
E.T. and the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Exactly. So that's how the game is played in a rough roundabout way. I've got a couple. You got a couple?
Yeah, I'm slapping stuff together even as we speak. Here we go.
Wow.
You can lead a horse to water, said Pac-Man's nemesis.
Oh, but you can't make him drinky, blinky, inky, and Clyde.
Yeah,
I think I missed one. Pinky.
Yeah, you got it.
That's awesome. I said inky twice. That's
okay.
Great. That's a good one. Okay, I'm gonna pause for a second because
I couldn't get the third one. Was it Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde? Because I could not get the third one. I kept going Bonnie and Clyde.
Oh, funny.
Which I knew is like there is no ghost named Bonnie.
Blinky, and I'm assuming
it's Pinky.
Yeah,
it is Pinky now that you say it. I could not get it. Let's see.
So here I want to pause on Pac-Man for a second because on Father's Day, Beetlebat again. His girlfriend was over. He's like, you want to play a game? And so there were 5 of us playing. He goes, we got this Pac-Man board game where you go around and you actually eat the pellets. And I remembered one from like when I was a kid. And Pac-Man goes around picking up the marbles from the board. And I thought that's what he had, some retro version. But it was genuinely great game where one person is Pac-Man and the other 4 people are the ghosts. And every turn, everybody gets to move. And then as soon as Pac-Man is killed, that round is over. And the next player is Pac-Man.
That's so fun.
And it's based on points, like how many pellets you eat, how many ghosts you eat.
Were you hiding around the tunnels? Or did you have to follow the rules?
No, go through the tunnels.
So it could be like, you get over there.
Pac-Man's allowed to go back and forth like from space to space where the ghosts have to continue through. But the ghosts can communicate before they make their moves.
Interesting.
Even interesting rules like the ghost can't move until the red guy comes out because in the real game the red ghost comes out first, and funny enough,
you have to survive like 20 turns or something. Or?
You know what? It went really quick because I think if we played again it would go longer because you realize how easy it is for the ghosts to get you. Having said that, my daughter, my 12-year-old daughter with Down syndrome, got the high score. She won.
Nice.
Yeah. So
She figured it out.
It's super fun.
Like, probably do this. I didn't see that coming.
We all genuinely enjoyed it. Yet she still had a chance to win. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
She could go anywhere. She knew she had to get Pac-Man.
Right. It's nice to find games that are like everyone can enjoy. You don't have to be like a deep, seated strategizing Pac-Man expert.
So even though Beetlebat and I are really, really growing apart, it was good to play a game again.
Nice to spend time together, even though you're so distant.
Okay, I distracted. Let me give you one.
Sure.
I'll go quick here. I'll give you this one. Them Duke boys love Will Arnett as an animated stallion.
So when you say the Duke boys, I know you're talking about Bo and Luke Duke, and all I can get is Bo Jackman horse, but I'm trying to like Bo and Luke Duke.
So I said Duke boys.
So Bo and Luke, or Luke and Bo Jackman
there
horse.
It is. I just have to say it backwards.
Okay, I see. Okay,
we always say Bo and Luke.
Bo and Luke. I still got you. Okay. Oh, this one's a little bit. You had to be paying attention.
Oh, great!
And so,
what does it do with horse diving?
It does. It's the horse diving story. Okay. All
Retinas.
Right. Yeah, it's the guy's name. Okay. The mouse ran up the clock for this horse diving entertainer.
Hickory Dickory Doc Severinsen.
Hickory Dickory Doc Carver.
Yeah.
You got where I was going. Yeah.
I would never remember Carver.
No.
Doc Severinsen. Wasn't that the band leader on the Johnny Carson show?
Yeah, that's right. Doc Holliday.
Okay.
I'll be a Huckleberry.
I got one more, but don't answer it. Let's leave it for our Village-idiomate children. Let's let them know how they can get a hold of us and watch for our horse diving videos.
Perfect. You can reach out to us with the answer to this, all of our Village-idiomate children, on Instagram at the.village.idiom, or email thevillageidiompodcast@gmail.com, or whether it's Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter at 3 Minutes Gone.
Beauty. Here we go. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't. Blank page goes in, but comes out with a hard copy of a digital image. I want to point out something here. My Riddlink is also a Riddlink with the overlapping word of blank. So I'm going to read it again.
Okay.
You can lead a horse to water, but you can't blank. And then continued from there. Blank page goes in, but comes out with a hard copy of a digital image.
Wow, that's crazy. It was fun putting together today's episode. We hope you enjoyed it too. I'm Skinny.
I am Jurassic Watering Hole Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
You can lead a horse to water,
Take it down
but you
now.
can't make it drink.
Mm-hmm.
That's 3 minutes gone.